Hey, hello everybody. Now, I know that we were meant to be having this recording a little while ago, but I've had some tech issues. Thanks to Optus doing a little bit of work unexpectedly in the area, but I'm back on deck now. So I know many of you who wanted to join have probably moved on to seeing clients and things like that. So I thought what I'll do is I've just popped a little message up in our communities to let you know that the call is happening. Those of you who can join, amazing. If you can't, hopefully you'll find some help in this quick video for you as well. So I thought what I'll do while I wait for people to join is just talk with you a little bit about some of the misconceptions and beliefs around working with a diploma. So first of all, I guess one of the questions that comes up is, can you start a private practice with one? And I know this is a very sort of controversial and almost contentious topic, but, you know, as a private practice specialist with 30 years experience, a PhD, been awarded Health Practitioner of the Year a couple of years ago, and now just a couple of weeks ago, Business Coach of the Year. I guess with my experience and my qualifications, my expertise behind me, what I can share with you is that absolutely you can start a private practice with a diploma. And there are so many reasons why you should. I think thinking about how you want to help people, who you want to help, who you really want to serve is so important, and allowing yourself not to listen to the white noise is going to be just as important for you. I think perhaps what's happened is there's been a little bit of a narrative. Well, actually, it's quite a bit of a narrative in the counselling space anyway about diploma qualified counsellors. And I'm here because I really want to dispel a lot of that and give you some background about how it came about, which really is that we have two membership bodies that both refer to themselves as peak bodies. So we've got Australian Counselling Association over here and PACFA over here. And for some reason, I'm not sure why, but for some reason, they both instigated levels of membership. Now, it's my belief, and I could be wrong, but it's my belief and it's my understanding that when these two organisations were first getting started, they looked, as you do, and did their research, as they should, at other allied health professions and looked at the models that they were using and tried to create models for counselling based on what was happening in different areas, right? One of those is psychology. Now, in psychology, when you're a member of the Australian Psychological Society, for example, they are one of the peak bodies. There's two peak bodies now for psychologists as well, but that's a whole other story. But traditionally it was the Australian Psychological Society. And they used to have levels, and there was a reason for that. And that was because there was an association between skill and qualification. And it was that, you know, the more specialised you wanted to be in your work, the more knowledge, the more specialised knowledge you needed to acquire. You needed to close a knowledge gap, and you needed to increase your skills by closing a skills gap, right? You have to remember, psychology is about a whole range of things. Psychology includes counselling. All psychologists are counsellors, but not all counsellors are psychologists. All psychologists learn how to do counselling. Now, I know this is probably going to be polarising for people who don't agree because, again, maybe you've been indoctrinated into different ways of thinking. But the reality is that all psychologists provide counselling, can provide counselling, are qualified and skilled and knowledgeable in that, but their work goes beyond. So they do have to learn how to diagnose people. They do have to learn how to assess people. They do have to learn how to write up those assessments. They do have to learn how to go and give evidence in court and things like that. And then they can break off and even do more specialised work. And in fact, even when a psychologist has a master's degree, They will often, if they want to specialize in something like autism assessments, for example, or cognitive assessments and things like that, they might then also go and do further education and training, because they need to get the skills and they need to get the experience for that, because what they're doing is outcome focused in a scientific sense. So these days, not when I first started learning. When I first started learning psychology, you could do either under the stream at University of Science or the Arts. Now it's all under science. It transitioned into science when I was towards the end of my bachelor's, and for that reason, it's heavily because of the emphasis on diagnosing and assessing and treating and the medical model and things like that. There is a higher requirement for training, education and development, because the outcomes of any assessments or diagnosis are due to that, right? And because of that, it's different in counselling though. In counselling, the work is different, and the work is more around the talk therapy, and how do we deliver that service, and how do we deliver a talk therapy intervention that's going to allow somebody to be able to get the therapeutic outcome that they need. And the data, when you have a look at the meta-analysis, so a meta-analysis is when some researchers, or a researcher or a group of researchers, pull together a bunch of previously reported research, investigations, evidence, and they analyse all of that data. It's called a meta-analysis. So when people do a meta-analysis of treatment outcomes for counsellors, what they consistently find is that there are two predictors of outcomes. The first predictor is the therapeutic alliance or the therapeutic relationship. The second predictor is the client or the patient's alliance with the modality that the counsellor is using. Now, when you learn how to counsel, of course, you learn about the basic counselling methods, don't you? You learn about, Rogerian, and you learn about Adlerian, and you learn a little bit about Ericksonian techniques and person-centered and Rollo-May and all the things, right? So you learn all of those things. And it's those skills that are going to be helping you to get the therapeutic outcome with your client. You know how to do that. They're talk therapies. And the client being in agreement and in alignment with that talk therapy will also get them the outcome. So there's nowhere in the evidence that says you must have, in order to get a better outcome, you've got to have higher degrees. That's just not there. But it is there in psychology, psychiatry, sociology, other allied health professions. And I think this could be the error that's happened with ACA and PACFA. I feel like perhaps they've, thought, well, we need our own model, looked at other models and then said, well, that's what psychology is doing, so we'll do that. Or that's what, sociology or social work is doing, so we'll do that. But missing the point. In those other professions, we need higher levels of education in order to get the outcomes for those professions. Over here, though, we don't, okay? So it doesn't stand to reason in my mind and in my way of thinking as a researcher, as a scientist, as a business owner, and as a private practice specialist. It makes no sense to me that we have two peak bodies that are advocating for, you're more competent as a counsellor and you're going to get a better outcome as a counsellor if you have more degrees behind you. It's not correct. It's incorrect. It's misinformation and it's disinformation. And it makes me wonder why that's happening. I guess the bigger perspective, the broader perspective is if you can allow yourself to step back and detach emotionally, because it can be provocative when you're thinking about all of this. But if you can allow yourself to step back emotionally and just have a clear mind and look at all of this, I guess I want to wonder, Why is it happening? What's perpetuating it? But I can also understand why we see so much pushback in some of our online communities from people who are members of peak bodies in the counselling space, who really do firmly and strongly believe that you're a better counsellor if you've got a tertiary degree or a postgraduate degree or even a higher postgraduate degree, because that's been their training, that's been their education. They don't know any different. And unfortunately, I think too, not for everybody, but I think sometimes, depending on perhaps where you studied or the approach that was taken by your training provider, you know, maybe some people just weren't trained to ask questions. And that's one of the differences, maybe, like with psychology and with the training that I did. It was all about testing, asking questions, having a hypothesis, seeing whether the hypothesis was going to be true or not true, and looking at why, looking at what was validated and not validated, and trying to understand why. So I guess from that perspective, I'm able to look at things with a clear mind and have an idea about something and explore, is this idea supported or not? So I was always trying to ask questions. And even through my PhD, it was about asking questions and testing whether or not those questions were true, correct, valid, not valid, reliable, not reliable, all those kinds of things. So when it comes to you know, the efficacy of you know, the work that counsellors do, I think it's important to understand. It's a completely different approach to psychology, but you must ask questions. And unfortunately, I think that there are people who've started their education, were told at some point by their educators that they needed to be a member of a body, that they joined the recommended body, without question, because they're excited. They're excited to be studying, excited to be finally taking steps towards their dream job or their life purpose and things like that. And as a result, they've gone right through. So they've gone through like a student membership, and then they've been able to get to a certain level, and that's been a milestone. That's felt really good. But it didn't stop there, because then there was another milestone, and they got that one. And then there was another milestone, and then they got that one. And so they've moved through all of these, not really ever questioning anything. They've been accepting, very accepting of what's been happening, very accepting of what they've been told, very accepting like this. And so then when somebody like me comes in and says, oh no, you can go and start work straight away with a diploma, they get very upset, because what I'm saying conflicts with what they've learned or what they've been exposed to and things like that. And so it's absolutely understandable, and I can appreciate that some people hold very strong beliefs about what you can and can't do. But as I want you to understand from this video today, it's not a right view or a wrong view. Everybody's view is valid. All points of view are welcome here in all of my communities, in all of my spaces. All points of view are welcome, as long as they're shared in a way that's respectful and thoughtful and mindful, and wherever possible, kind. I think we owe it to each other to be able to at least behave like that. I would always behave like that with you, and I would expect the same in return, not only for me, but for our colleagues and our peers. So if you're somebody who is thinking, no, you can't do that with a diploma because you're not qualified enough, I respect where you're at, but I also want to invite you to question, where does this belief come from? Okay, what is this belief based on? Is it based on something I've been told? Have I questioned what I've been told? Things like that can be very, very expansive and very, very helpful for you. And in fact, I would encourage all of you to start asking more questions about why things might be a certain way. But when it comes to running a business with a diploma, you absolutely can run a business with a diploma. My best guidance would be if you wanted to start a private practice, irrespective of if you have a diploma or maybe you have a higher degree, maybe you've got a bachelor's or a postgraduate qualification, something like that. Maybe you've got a doctoral degree like I do. I think everybody needs to go and learn how to run a private practice before they open one. And the second step from that is, I think, once the private practice is set up and you've got a very good, thorough understanding of the essential foundations that you need to have in place. You've got your processes in place that are there to support the business and support you. Once those things are in place and you're happy with them and you're good to go, the next thing to do is start marketing. And so you'd want to start marketing at a minimum 90 days out from when you plan to start seeing clients. So if you're going to open on the 1st of January, what's that, October, November, December? Yeah, probably the 1st of October, you want to start advertising, you want to start marketing the practice. And you need to learn how to do that. One of the things that can often be a stumbling block is working on the business. It's like we're all so G'd up and enthusiastic and ready and wanting to go and work with our clients and help our clients and share our knowledge and our wisdom and our skills and support people. We forget about the part of the business that requires like working on it. If you want to learn a little bit more about the ratios of working on the business to in the business, you can listen to today's podcast episode that talks all about different stages of private practice and what it needs you to be focusing on during those different stages, breaking it down into the specific activities. So go and have a listen to that if it's something that you're interested in. But certainly I know that the private practice owners I've worked with, people who have diplomas, people who have other qualifications, the ones that do best and experience success in the way they define it most quickly are the ones that learn how to run the business first and learn how to market. They create a business plan, they follow it, they create a marketing plan with a marketing strategy to implement it. You know, it's been very interesting over the last few weeks doing website wellness checkups for people and more recently doing complimentary business assessments. And little things from how people set their fees to how they're marketing their practice. You know, there's so many people that completed the assessment that said that they're marketing by putting things on social media, Facebook and Instagram, some people on TikTok as well. And then when I went and had a look, it's very clear that there's no, and when they fill out that form for me, that assessment, they say, oh, I haven't done a business course for private practice and I haven't done a marketing course, but I'm marketing and I'm not getting results. I'm not getting the clients. I'm not getting the volume. I'm not getting the traffic over to my website, all those kinds of things. So I'm not sure if it's that people aren't aware that, you know, having that degree is one piece of the puzzle, but there are two other pieces of the puzzle, which are learning how to run a private practice and learning how to market the private practice. When you've got those three things working together, that's when you create success, because if you are going to open, for example, on the 1st of January, then you get to make sure that when you do, you've got clients in the diary ready to see you and ready to work with you. Makes sense? So that's what I wanted to share with you. If you're a diploma qualified counsellor or you're studying towards your diploma, you know, congratulations. I think these are amazing achievements and accomplishments. And welcome to the profession. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please don't listen to the white noise. Chances are it's possible that some of you might already be experiencing some signs of, you know, dreaded imposter syndrome. Might also be wondering, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Can I do it? Can't I do it? Da, 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 da. I want you to know you can. But there are also some recommendations. So that would be, do be a member of a body. Now, you don't have to be with the main two. There are plenty of others. And in fact, I have a list of other organisations that you can be a member of. You can access that list inside the DCS, the Diploma Counsellor Society, that's there for you. And the reason that I really do recommend that is because we are in a self-regulated industry. And I think it's important that we demonstrate professionalism and integrity. And part of that, in my mind, is making sure that we are practicing to a standard of conduct and a standard of ethical behaviour. So that's provided for. I want to make sure that you've got all the insurances that you need and you're aware and cognizant of the types of insurances that you need for your practice. And that's going to be different depending on the type of practice you run. For example, some people doing face-to-face are going to need some type of insurance, whereas people who are also delivering online may need a different type, and people who are working with clients that are based in Australia will need different type of insurance to those who also work with clients from overseas. People who are selling digital products need another level of insurance, all these kinds of things. So it's going to be different for your practice, but you'll only know what you need when you're connected to the right membership body for you. The other reason that I think it's great to be part of a membership body is not only for the ethics and for the understanding of the insurances, but also for, what was I going to say? Supervision. Making sure that you've got some third party to be accountable for your supervision. Now, supervision hours vary quite significantly, actually, from different bodies. My recommendation is that, you should absolutely have an hour of supervision for every 10 hours of work you're delivering to clients. So if you see 10 clients, that's an hour of supervision. If you see 20 clients, that's 2 hours of supervision, because you need to be on top of your skills. You need to be on top of the caseload. But not only that, supervision provides an opportunity for somebody with a fresh set of eyes to look at you and how you're practicing, and maybe give you the heads up, because you've got blind spots. You might not want to admit it, and you certainly won't see them. You'll think, I don't have blind spots. If you think that, that's a sign you definitely do. And so having good regular supervision with somebody that you know, like, and trust, who's experienced in your niche, can be worth its weight in gold, because that person, just like my supervisor, sometimes sees things in me that I don't see, and can say to you things like, okay, this sounds all great, da, 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 da. Now, what are you doing for your self-care? How are you looking after you? How could you better manage your time over here? Those kinds of things. The fourth reason I think that it's great to be part of a membership body is because it will also have OPD or CPD requirements, usually. And that's important, because I want you to make sure that when you're working with clients, you're using the latest trends, the latest innovations. If there's new evidence around interventions, it's important that you're aware of that so you can use those. But it's also important for you because we want to make sure that everything you're doing the right way. Yep. So they're just a few of the reasons why it's important, I feel, regardless of if you've got a diploma or not, but to be a member of a membership body. Okay, you choose who it is, but make sure that you're doing those things. All right. Now, we've got logbooks, we've got CPD planners, we've got CPD manuals, and all this sort of stuff included for you in the DCS. So you won't have to go and find all of that, and trackers so that you can keep everything in the one spot. So I just wanted you to know that that's available. Now, the Diploma Counsellor Society came about, I don't know, maybe, I don't even think it's 12 months old now, but it came about because I saw, as a leader of 18,000 therapists, I saw some of the damage that was being done by practitioners who had maybe higher qualifications, and what they were sharing, their beliefs, and some of them weren't being very kind. Not only that, they just weren't being very respectful or very professional. In fact, they're being just plain rude and mean and inconsiderate and disrespectful to people. I won't have it. So all of those people were instantly removed from my communities. They're in other communities now, and I wish them the best, but they're just not good fits for my communities. But I also heard so many messages from people who had diplomas who would reach out privately, upset because of things that they'd seen and things that they'd read, in the online space from peers, from colleagues, about how they weren't good enough because they had a diploma, how they couldn't do this, how they should restrict their practice, how they should go and work for an employer first before going and starting their own business. And so I knew that I needed to do something that was going to support them, because at the time there wasn't anything. So there is now. There's another group, which I'm also a member of. I'm very blessed. It's run by a beautiful soul called Anne Marie. The name of that group, I think, I'm just going to check it for you now, is Diploma of Counselling Students and Grads. That's the name of hers. So there wasn't a space back then. So I created that space. And this space is where you can come along, you can share whatever it is without worrying about getting attacked or getting upset or anything like that. It's only for people with diplomas, people who are studying, and people who are grads or even new grads. It's a place to be resourced. Every single month, it includes training where you can acquire an ongoing professional development document, a certificate, or a continuing professional development certificate. So OPD or CPD is included. There's monthly group supervision included. And in fact, our supervision sessions are so impactful and so powerful that some of the women, that's women in the DCS at this stage, some of the women have referred to it more as a circle because of the level and the depth of support they receive. And it's a very, very special space. Apart from that, we've also got attached to that program, there is a Facebook community. So anybody that wants to connect, because it can be very isolating when you have a diploma or when you're moving into private practice. So people who want to connect are also part of that community there. So let me just show you a little bit about what that looks like. I will just bring up my space for you so you can have a look at this. So as you can see, the doors to the Diploma Counsellor Society only open periodically, just kind of like here and there. They're open until Friday at 12 noon Australian Eastern Standard Time. After that, they're going to be closed, and they don't open until 2025 again. And, you know, I want you to imagine like you're right there at the edge of everything that you've ever wanted for your practice. You've finally got your diploma and you're really excited to start your journey. But there's that self-talk, and maybe it comes from you, or maybe it comes from things that you've read in the past. But it's sort of asking, what if I'm not good enough? Can I do this? Is this really possible? And do you know what? You're not alone, because actually there are so many counsellors just like you who also have a diploma or are studying their diploma, and they feel exactly the same way. They feel overlooked. They're questioning themselves. They're questioning their institution. They're questioning their choices. They're questioning their careers, and they're feeling stuck, like they just don't know what to do next. And they're probably going through things like, you know, feeling like you're not good enough. And I totally get that. You're out there and you're doing the work and you're pouring your heart and soul into helping people. But sometimes it feels like you're just not measuring up. And it's not because you're not, it's because of the other things that you're hearing. Those online forums that I spoke about before can be brutal, with colleagues tearing each other down, instead of doing what I would love us to be doing, lifting us up and raising the profile of our profession. And don't even get me started on professional bodies with their arbitrary levels that seem designed to make us doubt ourselves. You've got to remember, most of us that study are women, and most of us that study counselling are women in their second or third career. And most of us who move into this profession have also had a break from the workforce at some point or another. And so we're already disadvantaged. We're disadvantaged financially. We're disadvantaged with the knowledge. We're disadvantaged with experience. We're disadvantaged with the gap. We're disadvantaged with not having super. We're disadvantaged with the wisdom, all those kinds of things. They pop up, right? And those levels just don't make sense to me. But here's the thing. I want you to know that actually you are enough and that you are so much more than enough. And all that noise that you hear, it's just that noise. And just like you can tune your radio in the car, and while you're changing stations, you hear the static, you can tune out that static and you can tune in to something that you would prefer to listen to, something that's going to feel better, that's going to give you the information that you want, need, and are looking for. You know exactly what counts to be able to be a good counsellor with a diploma. It's the connection that you build with your clients, that therapeutic alliance that you make with them. That's the thing. That's what's going to get them the outcome, not more qualifications or more degrees or higher levels. In fact, the research backs this up consistently, time and time again. It's not about the letters after your name. It's about your ability to build rapport, have empathy, to listen, to be present with the client, to engage in a safe space for healing and mindfulness. That is where the magic happens. And I believe in your heart of heart, you know that. So the next time the doubt starts to creep in for you, I want you to remember that your diploma is not just a piece of paper. It actually represents real skills, knowledge, and of course, real dedication. You've earned your place in the profession. You have. You do not need to do anything else. You've earned your place in the profession. Please don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Tune that noise out. Find your tribe, find your group of people that are going to lift you up and support you, and keep focusing on what truly matters. And that's the people that you're helping every day. Focus on your why, because that's where your true value is going to lie. You might also find yourself craving connection when you have a diploma or studying towards one, and you're also maybe even thinking about starting a private practice. So I want you to know that I see you. I see you. And that's why I created this space. I understand the frustration and the isolation that you're feeling, because I felt it too. And it's not fair. I believe that despite your skills and your dedication and the real impact that you make and you can make every single day, you're being shut out of membership bodies simply because you don't hold a degree. The feeling of not fitting in, of having nowhere to turn, can be overwhelming. I know that many of you stay quiet in some of the larger online communities too, because you're worried about what people are going to say. You're worried about getting attacked by someone. You're worried about the judgment or maybe even the exclusion. But please know this, your voice does matter. It matters to me, and it matters to everybody else that's got a diploma or is studying towards one. And your experiences are valid. Your skills are needed. They're valuable. And you are an essential part of the profession, regardless of what other organisations or other peers and colleagues might incorrectly say. I believe that you deserve recognition and respect for the work that you do, and nothing less. And so I'm working my butt off to change these outdated structures and perspectives, and to create a more inclusive environment where your expertise is acknowledged and celebrated. You're not alone in this struggle, and I've created a space where you can be supported and celebrated, okay? So that you can continue to be the amazing person that you are. But you've got a choice. You can stay where you are, craving those connections and dealing with all of that stuff, or you can step into a community with other people who get it, like-minded professionals. And here's what happens when you do that. You're like instantly part of a community. It's almost like being part of a family. Seriously, there are opportunities for you to develop very close, strong ties, bonds, and connections. It's more than a community. It's an opportunity for you to develop friendships. And people in the community, in the DCS, have done exactly that. It's like, imagine walking into a room where everyone turns around and smiles and says, "Hey, we've been waiting for you. Welcome." This is what it feels like when you're a member of the DCS. It's not just another membership. It's not just another community. You're here because we believe in you. We want you to succeed, and we're going to cheer you on every step of the way. We're also going to support you when you need support, when you need lifting up because you've been bruised and battered and whatever it is in other places. Your confidence is going to start to skyrocket. It's like finding that missing piece that just makes everything else click into place. Being surrounded by peers who understand what you're going through and who can recognize the accomplishments and the achievements that you've made is amazing because it lets you start to see and appreciate your own value in a whole new light. Your growth professionally becomes almost like a daily ritual. You have access instantly when you join to resources, workshops, and conversations that are tailored just for you, because growing your practice isn't a goal. It's just something that you're going to find yourself doing every single day with our support. It's about evolving in ways that feel really aligned with who you are and the counsellor that you want to become. Okay. And guess what happens when that happens? Opportunities start to find you. You don't feel stuck anymore, and you're not wondering what to do next or where to focus your attention next. In this community, there are opportunities for collaborations, for referrals, for co-working, for networking, and expanding your practice. It's about opening up doors that you might not have even known existed, because now you're surrounded by the right people. The energy is different. It's a very positive energy, and you find your voice. So whereas in some of those bigger communities, you may have found yourself holding back because you weren't sure where you fitted in, but here you're going to find your voice and you're going to learn to use it confidently. Because whether it's in a group session or in a one-on-one chat or consultation or leading your own workshop, you'll discover the power of sharing your own story and insights in a community that is attentive. We want to know, we want to hear, we're going to listen. So joining this community isn't just about finding a place to belong. It's about stepping into that version of you that you've been wanting to step into all this time. Okay, so here's some of what you get when you join the DCS. You get an exclusive student portal. It's got all your resources in there. You can access this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You get group peer supervision. You get monthly training included, along with an OPD and a CPD certificate and assessments. Plus, there are chances to connect and learn, co-work, build out referral pathways, all of that. In fact, in the DCS, we're going to celebrate your journey and the impact that you make for your clients every single day. It's a space where we're going to listen, we're going to hear you, we're going to value your experiences, and we're going to recognize and celebrate your skills, because we all stand united in the knowledge that the therapeutic alliance, not academic credentials, is the cornerstone of effective counselling, just like the research says. And here with us, you'll find support, growth, and a community that understands your challenges. So we're rewriting the narrative together, and we're proving that diploma qualified counsellors are integral to our profession, even if you've been told you weren't good enough because of your qualifications. Okay. So you're going to get instant access to tools, resources, and templates to find your feet, build your confidence, and thrive with your diploma. You're going to get monthly group peer supervision calls to meet your CPD and OPD requirements. You're going to get that assessment and a certificate of completion. There's a skills building corner just for you so that you can easily build confidence using techniques, modalities, and interventions with your clients. We also have unique authority building processes to establish yourself as a leader in your chosen niche or area of interest, or even your geographical location. There are bonus resources, trainings, templates, and printables throughout your participation in the 12 months you're with us. There's the exclusive student portal that you get to access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when it works best for you, because you're busy. You're probably studying, or you're studying and have a paid job and trying to get the practice going. That's why everything's on demand and it's at your fingertips. Plus, there's a supportive community of counsellors just like you, all either studying toward completing a diploma or obtaining the diploma, or with one, who exactly understand what you might be going through and are here to show you what's possible when we all come together. You're going to get the private practice roadmap, the authority building corner, your supervision for 12 months, group supervision for 12 months, your very own supervision journal, monthly trainings, legal training for counsellors, ethical website marketing for counsellors, how to optimize your Facebook business page for counsellors, a private practice planner for counsellors, recentering overwhelm workbook for counsellors, the counsellors I Can Do This workbook, thriving in adversity journal for counsellors, the counsellors mindset reset workbook, the ultimate confidence and clarity workbook for counsellors, the Canva quick start guide and training, fee setting processes for diploma counsellors in private practice, heart resilience toolkit, including EFT tapping workbook, resilience challenges, grounding resources, and more included. Plus, you get all these other things, right? It's a total value of $3,195. Plus, you're also going to get a bonus website wellness audit that you can use anytime you like within the 12 months of being with the program. Plus, you're also going to get a daily success planner so that you can start seeing results and do activities that are going to shift the needle in your private practice. I'm going to include for you my private practice website template. This is one of the most popular products, digital products that I sell through my business. So many people love this and use it, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful tool. You don't need any fancy software. You can use the free version of Canva with this. Plus, I'm going to give you a vision board, right? So all of this is worth $3,383, okay? Here's some testimonials from people. I want to celebrate another inquiry I received this morning on Psychology Today from a dream client. That's 2 in 1 week. Somebody else saying more inquiries have come through from one of my main referrers. I have a new client. I just booked a client. People leaving their jobs, right? And going into full-time private practice. I just left my job 13 years to go into full-time private practice, started working on my vision, right? So is it a course? It's a yearly support program where you're going to get coaching, CPD or OPD, training and community. It is not a course or a membership. It is not a subscription. There is a payment plan. I intentionally kept the fee low for joining the program, and I also offered the option of paying for to help make it even more accessible, because I really, really, really want you to be able to get the support that you need. The CPD or OPD's monthly training plus assessment with a certificate of completion that you can use towards your annual membership requirements. While you're with me, you'll be in this program for 12 months. You're going to get 12 lots of that with the certificates, okay? The peer group supervision happens monthly, usually for an hour, sometimes goes longer, includes, again, certificate of participation for your CPD or OPD requirements, okay? We use a process of tools, including reflective practice. We draw upon symbol and metaphor and mindfulness-based supervision. During your membership, you're going to get access to 12 sessions of the group peer supervision. Plus, the Skills Corner is something unique to the DCS. It's a space that allows you to practice and fine-tune skills, okay? It's open to all members and participation is encouraged irrespective of skills or experience, okay? So how much is it? It's $297. That's it, $297, and you can pay in 4 if you want to. If you want as well, I also made for you a collection of resources. They're templates. So you're going to get 118 templates. There's 30 Instagram post templates that are also resized for Facebook. You're going to also get 80 LinkedIn post templates. I'm giving you 8 carousel templates, which is a collection of a total of 54 individual tiles that you can use on your Instagram. Plus, you're also getting a Beyond Credentials mindset journal to help you overcome imposter syndrome for anybody who might be experiencing that, right? So all of these are designed to help you be seen, showcase your expertise, attract clients, get more inquiries, and of course, save you time and money. I've done it all for you. This is going to help you build trust by being able to consistently create a brand that's on point, by sharing your valuable insights with your audience, establish your authority, boost recognition, maximize your return on investment. Okay. I'm including the bonus Beyond Credential journal in this for you as well, to help you overcome imposter syndrome so that you can get better results in your business. So if you want that, just toggle it on and you can get it. All right, no problem. There's where you pay. You can use Afterpay, direct debit, Klarna, Google Pay, Apple Pay, all the things. The point is that there is this support that's here for you. Now, this is the last time it's going to be offered at this fee. The fee goes up in 2025. For anybody who's wondering, if you have an ABN, you will be able to claim this for your tax deduction. If you're a student and you don't have an ABN, you can claim it depending on where you live in the world, but you can claim it towards your education expenses because it's including your supervision and your OPD CPD. So either way, you can claim it on your tax. So if you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. It is just so important for me to be able to help you. And it was absolutely my pleasure to be able to offer this for you, bring it to you, and be available as a resource to help you on your journey. Thank you so much for all that you do, for our professional community, and for all that you do for the broader community of clients and for their families, and for the ripple effect that you make, or if you're studying, that you're going to be making once you complete your qualification. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye.